Hello everybody, today we're going to take a look at installing our tax software. Once you get into the 2024 TaxAct install assignment, you'll see some software options available. We're not concerned about 2023, you don't need that. We're working on 2024, so you'll want to install these packages. Now, we're not going to use the 990, that's for not-for-profit organizations. If you're enrolled in Accounting 204, Individual Income Tax, you'll want to install the 1040 package as well. We're not going to be using the 1041, however, in Accounting 205, we will be installing the 1065 partnership returns, the 1120 corporation returns, and the 1120S S corporations. So again, for 205, you need these bottom three down here, and if you are in 204, you might as well go ahead and install your 1040 package. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and click on each of the install links, the 1065, the 1120, and the 1120S. And it's going to download the three installer files. Once you have these, just double click on one of them. Notice each one is a different file. Okay, and again, if you're installing the 1040 package, if you're in Accounting 204 and you're installing that, then obviously you'd have a fourth file here. And it's going to open this up. Make sure again that it has the right year. Say next. Accept the agreement. It's going to ask you where do you want to install it. I always just stick with whatever the default is. Alright, I'm going to finish. It has installed the 1120S package. Now I'm going to install the next one. This is going to install the 1120 package. And the 1065. So now on my desktop I have a new icon, TaxAct 2024 Professional Edition. Okay, and when you open that up, and the first thing it's going to ask you to do is set up the preparer, that's you. So we're going to go ahead and put in your name, last name. Do not put in your social security number. Never, ever, ever do that, in a class or whatever. Now, in the real world, yes, when you're setting up your software, you'd have to put in this information. The government requires it. You're not going to be submitting anything through the government with this tax software. You couldn't if you wanted to. Okay, it's just the student edition. You cannot e-file. Okay, do not put in your social security number. We're going to go to where it's going to ask you for a P10. The software is going to require this of you. If you are a paid tax preparer, you have a P10 number. As a student, you don't. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to use your A number, okay, except instead of starting with the letter A, we're going to start with the letter P. So whatever your A number is, like if mine was A12345, I would start with P and go P12345. Okay? I'm going to click this. I verify this P10 is accurate and the associated preparer is the registered owner. That's fine. Okay, the software should not require us to put in the address and whatnot, so we should be fine there. Let's go continue. Alright, this is e-filing information. Again, as a paid tax preparer, in order to have your system link with the IRS, you would have to have an EFIN. That's what we call this. You don't have that. We're not worried about it. Hit save and close. Okay, it's saying it wants a phone number. Alright, fine. Let's do it. We'll go back over here and we'll say mobile phone number 520-555-5555. Continue. And then an email. Alright, fine. We'll come back over here again. and they want an email address. No, no at Gmail. I don't care. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's go ahead and put our email address for the college. All right. So I am krscott2 at pima.edu. Let's go ahead and do that. Again, we're not going to be sending this out to the government or anything, but I'm going to put that on there. All right. Let's try now. And yay, let us in. All right. It's going to ask you about upgrades. Let's say don't show this again, although I'm pretty sure it's going to show it again. And we're going to say no thanks. Okay, good tip. We're going to say no. Let's just close it. And you can take the tour if you want. You can say yes, it's going to walk you through a few things. I'm just going to say no. Once you're here, when you log into the software, this is usually what you're going to see. You would have a list of any clients you have. And every time we create a client, we'd go up here and say, okay, we're going to add a client, a new client, and then you'll see here there'll be a list. If you've only installed one package, it's not going to give you this option because there's only one option. But if you've installed multiple packages, when you click this down arrow, you get to pick which kind of a client you want. Okay, a 1065, an 1120, or an 1120s client. Okay. So that's where I'm going to end this video. At this point, you have your software installed. If you want to just create a random client, you can call it test or something, and just play around with it, I strongly encourage it. Again, there's no way for you to actually e-file anything. There's no way for you to turn this stuff into the government. So you can play around with it all day and just have fun. And if it crashes out on you or something, not a big deal. You just delete it and start over, kind of a thing, right? So something kind of fun to play around with before we have our first assignment.